Yeah. Check out the live stream I did to this beat. I did on Friday. I think it was episode 9. I don't remember. Yeah, I think it was episode. I think that's what the title is. Episode. It might be 8. I'm not too sure. But anyway, what's good? It's Sean P, the Bluff God, and we back at it with One Piece discussion, chapter 1018. Yeah. I think it's titled Jimbei versus Who's Who. But anyway, first off, let me say happy 4th of July to all the people out there. Happy 4th of July. And yeah, I hope y'all celebrating with your families, cooking out, things like that. The weather where I'm at is not too nice right now. You know, it's looking like it's about to rain anytime soon. So yeah. But you know, me, I spend my 4th of July talking One Piece with you guys. Which, you know, hey, I'd rather spend my 4th of July doing that anyway. So, hey, you know, it's a win-win. Anyway. Who's been keeping up with the episodes, man? I'm telling you, you know, y'all gotta keep up with those episodes. They've been flames. You know, like the recent one, we get to see the Straw Hats together. You know, yeah. I mean, we ain't gonna get into all that. We're not gonna get into all that. You know, let's get into this chapter. I really enjoyed this chapter because we get to see some action. You know, especially Jimbei. We get to see some Jimbei action. But anyway, let's get into it. One Piece, chapter 1018. Jimbei versus Who's Who. And it really is a chapter where we get some action. You know, like we get some you know, like we haven't been seeing Jimbei. We haven't seen Frankie. Hopefully we'll get that's gonna be next, the Frankie and Suzuki or Sakazuki. I forget his name. Um, but the Frankie fight, I hope we get maybe next either that or Robin. Oh, that's another thing. Oh man, y'all, if you watch the last episode of One Piece where we get like all the Straw Hats doing something, like attacking that port, the little port, and you get Robin, the Robin part, and then you see Sanji right there, like, oh, Robin, so beautiful, even in the midst of battle, bro. That was probably my favorite part in that whole episode. What Robin did, and then the Sanji reaction. But anyway, back to the chapter. I already said One Piece chapter 1018. Jimbei versus who's who, and what we see in the cover page. Let's talk about the cover page a little bit. We get page one. He's reading like a little dinosaur. Lose my voice a little bit. He's reading like a dinosaur book, and you see Alti hugging him around like I want to say it's an Allosaurus stuffed animal, because that's what page one is, and you see all the other stuffed animals. They're based off of the other high officers of Kaido's crew. You got Kaido. You see a dragon for Kaido. Then you see I don't want to say it's a pterodactyl, but I forget the other bird that it's like a pterodactyl. But that's King, and then you see the Brachiosaurus queen under Kaido, and then you get the saber-toothed tiger, which is page one, or not page one, who's who. Then the spider, Black Maria, and you get under King on the other side, on the right side of page one, and Alti. Under King, you get Jack, the mammoth, and then the Triceratops, Sakazuki. I think if I'm saying it wrong, correct me in the chat. But I think it's Sakazuki. He's the one fighting Frankie. Which I hope we get some more of that. That's what I'm looking forward to. But for now, we get Jimbei and who's who, and I'm not complaining. So there you go. Anyway, let me get a little water before we really go into this chapter. Anyway, you see all the I want to say the you see the gifters and the headliners who kind of turn coat for Otama. Basically, you see them running amok and fighting, and the people, the beast pirates that are still under Kaido, the allegiance of Kaido. They're talking about like, oh, it's that little girl. Like she has some power. She has some type of magic to control some of our men, right? And so they're like, let's get her, let's kill her. If we kill her, maybe, if we kill her, maybe her magic will be undone. Kind of like what you would think with devil fruit users who have like abilities that affect others. Like Sugar. You know how Sugar, when you knock her out, her ability of turning people into puppets just goes away. So I would think that would probably work similar to Otama. If you can knock her out or kill her or something, like that hold that she has over you goes away. So yeah, so you see Usopp carrying Otama and running away, and then we get Dafugu, who basically stops the men who's chasing Usopp and Nami and Otama, and then Speed comes out of nowhere, and then Otama and Nami hops on Speed and basically start running off while Usopp is chasing them. And they're basically saying like, oh yeah, we're gonna help you. The gifters, headliners, that's under Otama now. They're like, we're gonna help you. Take on Kaido basically. And I'm guessing Usopp caught up with Speed somehow. Maybe Speed stopped for him and let him get on because it looked like he's just kind of like hunched on Speed. And so Zeus comes out talking about, hey Nami, how can I be your servant again? Can I be your servant again? And Nami's kind of like, oh, like absolutely, like no, absolutely not. But you can be my sidekick though. I guess she's still trying to butter him up, which I'm gonna talk about a little more. But yeah, anyway, he gets happy, got his master now, and he goes off and attack all the all of the beast pirates that are still under Kaido. And so we go back to the room where CP0's in, right? And they're more so talking about like, okay, certain like couple thousand of the beast pirates basically betrayed Kaido and went to the Straw Hat Pirates Mink Ninja Alliance, and they pointed out that now it's 16,000 men versus 9,000. 9,000 being the Pirate Mink Alliance, Ninja Alliance, the Pirate Mink Samurai Ninja Alliance, being the 9,000, and the 16,000 being the Yonko Alliance. And they even mentioned, they said it can go even further. It can grow it either further, and I'm guessing it could. With Otama there, if she feeds more dingo what is it, the dingo, I forget what they're called. They're dumplings. The dumplings. She feeds more dumplings to more of Kaido's men. Then yeah, they could definitely their numbers could definitely cross over back to the Pirate Mink Samurai Ninja Alliance. And then they go from talking about the battle, the numbers and everything, how the numbers are starting to tilt, the tide is starting to tilt. And they talk about whichever side wins, it matters not to them. But he said there is one death that, we must confirm before this is over. And meaning, what I get is that it's somebody that they gotta ensure is dead. That this death, like they have to, even if they don't die in the battle, we gotta end it. We gotta end it. And then they says, are you like one of the other agents says, like, are you sure, like the classified information that he got is old, and like it at this point there's no harm in that classified information, and he basically like, look, it doesn't matter. It's more of a reputation thing. We can't let people think that they could get away with like they can escape from us, from doing wrongdoing to us or the world government. Like we can't that would stain our reputation, which I mean it's true. Like if you let somebody go, people gonna think that y'all could be weak at times. It could be a weakness. It could be seen as a sign of weakness. So, and he says, and that's assuming he survives. And then he says he is fighting Jimbei after all. So who's fighting Jimbei? Who's fighting Jimbei? Who? who's who. It's weird. No, don't mind that. That's just a silly. But who's the one who I'm assuming they're talking about, because he's the only one fighting Jimbei at this point, unless they're talking about one that who's men. But I mean, come on, it's kind of obvious that that's who they're talking about. But anyway, we get to the meat and potatoes of this chapter, and that is the fight with Jimbei and who's who, right? So at this point in the game, all of who's men are, they're no longer interfering in the fight like they were. I would say it's attributed to some of the men fighting with some of the headliners, and because based off of last chapter, some of the gifters and headliners that were under Otama, they told Jimbei, like, okay, we'll take care of the rest. You get your one-on-one with who's who. But you see here, you got men running away talking about, oh, who's who is going all out, so run away, like, back up. So I don't know if the guys who betrayed the pirates, the beast pirates, were defeated and they were still just lingering around. Well, the ones who won, like the ones who still under the beast pirates, are still lingering around, and now that who's is getting serious, they're leaving. Or if it was just some of them weren't occupied fighting, like some of the headliners, and they were still just standing around helping who's who. I don't know. But anyway, now we get a real 1v1 with who's who and Jimbei, right? And we see who's who basically do like a moonwalk. All right. So we see who's who do like the moonwalk or the skywalk, which I always thought it was called the moonwalk, but somebody was like, no, it's a skywalk. Or like, I think in the anime, like somebody called it a skywalk. So I'm like, is it moonwalk or skywalk? I don't know. I know the moonwalk is what Michael Jackson do. So there's that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so we got who's who does his moonwalk, I guess, to dodge Jimbei, and Jimbei basically asks him like, hey, so you're saying you bear a grudge against like Luffy, and you're like, technically the grudge that I got is against the red hair Shanks, the man who stole the devil fruit, which we expected that last chapter after we got Elids. He said Kibi Dango. Yeah, Kibi Dangos. And it is Moonwalk. Sanji is the only one that calls it Skywalk. Okay, that's I know somebody called it Skywalk, but yeah, I always thought like it was called Moonwalk at first. So yeah, it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. But and man, I got my boy Elijah in the comments. Yo, go check his channel out. He got good information on his channel. And hey, Elijah, I was gonna reach out to you and see if you want to do a video next week since we got a break, and I want to talk about, what I mean. But yeah, I'll reach out to you, man. I'll reach out to you. But so yeah, so we kind of it was pretty obvious that Shanks was who he had a problem with, because Shanks was the person who had the gum fruit. So yeah, Shanks was responsible for who's who. I'm guessing Shanks was responsible for who's who losing his job and getting arrested. But I'm also curious to know what intel that who's who had. You know, that where CP0 has to get involved. But so yeah, he was like, who's who basically said, my I also hold a grudge to Luffy because he has that same straw hat that Shanks had, and he has the fruit that Shanks stole from me. He said, yeah, he's not my initial target, but the fact that he has those things, he's going to bear part of my grudge. And he's also like doing these pistol fangs, which are like biting through the floor. They're biting through the floor, hitting people under the level the level under them, and then we see who's who going to Iron Body, and then like throws himself to Jimbei and basically biting. Hold on. I think I skipped it. Who's who? When he was throwing them bites at Jimbei, he connected, like some of those bites connected with Jimbei, and in connected with Jimbei, they actually bit through Jimbei's armament hockey, and who's who basically says, so even your color of armament can't stop them. Which this is something I want to talk about at the end of the stream. You made the right decision. He tells him you made the right decision to dodge because your armament's not gonna work. And he said, did I skip the? Okay, I'll make sure I didn't skip the one part. Who's who also mentioned something to Jimbei talking about like, I'm surprised that a fishman could move this fast on land, and Jimbei calls him out on his racism, which is like weird to see, like Oda actually have a character call somebody else out on racism, despite like a lot of some of the things that go on in One Piece is based off of like racism and like real life almost. So Jimbei calls who's who out on his racism, and then he lunges at him in his iron body, and basically it looks like he bit Jimbei, but like when we go to the next page, you see that Jimbei actually caught who's who, and then flips him over with like a low tide shoulder throw. And Jimbei starts throwing water shots at him. And who's who gets up and says, I want to ask you something about this story I heard. And he was talking about like he heard it while he was in jail getting tortured and everything. And he said, apparently this story was popular among slaves. They would pray. These slaves would pray to this legendary warrior they believed would one day free them, and this warrior was named the Sun God Nika. He asked Jimbei, and he tells him like, seeing how your race basically had to suffer through things like persecution and slavery and things like that, I figured you would know. I figured that you would know this. So who's who basically starts going hard attacking Jimbei with these finger pistols. And then eventually he tries to poke him and breaks his finger, and then that gives Jimbei the opening to basically turn the tables on who's who, and you just see him going ham on who's who, and who's who is basically like, oh, like, dang, he just snapped all of a sudden. and Jimbei cracks Who's Who in the face with a demon brick fist, and you see him go down in the Who's Who's Underlands is basically like, hey, they're basically, oh, he's basically going down, and then that's the end of the chapter, and we got Jimbei looking serious, and we don't got a chapter next week. Not until the 18th. So much was going on in that chapter. Just so much. It's hard to keep up with everything that was going on. But it was a lot of epicness to see Jimbei, to see a one-on-one with Jimbei as an official Straw Hat. So, I got pretty excited during reading this chapter. But anyway, now that we went through the chapter, there's a few things I want to talk about that's really stuck out with me during this chapter. Let me bang. All right. So, first thing that stuck out to me. Now, in the beginning of the chapter, we see the Beast Pirates basically targeting Otama, because they realize that, oh, she has this magic to control some of our guys, to make them betray us. And in a sense she does, but it's really just her devil fruit ability, which I'm surprised that them being Kaido's men, like being Beast Pirates, they would know about devil fruits. So I'm surprised that they didn't kind of connect it with her her potentially having a devil fruit, and them chalking it up to being a magic user. Her using magic, which is weird. Like, I expect a lot of the citizens of Wino to be like that, but not like the Beast Pirates, because I don't think it's ever been confirmed that the Beast Pirates were like citizens of Wino. Like, I just look at them as like, guys who came from all over the world, things like that. So, but that made me think, like, Otama's devil fruit, her ability, like, what value can that play in the bigger picture of the story, right? In the grand picture of the story, like, to have this devil fruit user who can control, all types of beasts, smile fruit users. Like, she can be very useful to somebody like Kaido or Blackbeard or the world government or the Gorosei. Like I'm just curious if Oda is ever going to make Otama like more, like, I guess, more relevant in the story, as far as maybe some villain, like maybe somebody like Blackbeard. Like, I mean, I don't know how it would be Blackbeard, because I don't think Blackbeard is aware of Otama and her existence. So I don't know if it would be Blackbeard. I would think it would, since with CP0 being there, I would think maybe they may be aware of her, because they even talked about it. They even said, like, yeah, like some of Kaido's people are going over to the Alliance, and I don't think they're aware of Otama yet, but maybe they will become aware. And if they become aware, do you think they may try to like, what do you guys think? Do you think that CP0 could potentially see some value in Otama? And maybe, Oda may bring up Otama's ability, post Wino, like after Wino. Maybe CP0 might try to kidnap Otama. Maybe Kaido. At this point, I don't think it would be Kaido, but that's kind of my, I'm just kind of curious. This chapter really made me. It really drove home Otama's ability. Like how her ability can really change the tide of a battle. So just think if she worked for the world government, you know, and they just wanted to up their numbers, you know, maybe Vegapunk might see something in Otama, you know. I I think that's an interesting, you know, interesting put like Otama has potential. I see Otama as someone who has intriguing potential for the bigger picture of the story. Like the future war or whatever. But you guys, let me know what you think of Otama and her the potential of her importance in the post Wino. But yeah. All right, so Elid said that's a good point. I never thought of how the world government would view Tama. They would certainly want that. Yeah. Yeah, like bro, like just imagine if they take over like the whole smile like they take over Kaido's operation, right? And they got Vegapunk. So I feel as though Vegapunk could probably perfect what Caesar done. Like the smile fruit that Caesar made. If Vegapunk perfected, they got someone like Otama where they could like almost force people to take this smile fruit, like maybe a perfected smile fruit that doesn't have any like risk, where you might just be a what are they called, the ones who take it, and it's like they take the failed version of the smile fruit. But maybe Vegapunk could reduce that risk to like near zero, and build an army of these smile fruit users. If they try to get Otama to potentially use her ability to control them, you know, I think there's potential in that. I think there's potential in that. That's honestly just something I kind of thought of after reading this chapter today. So it's kind of a work. It's a theory that's kind of a work in progress at the moment. It's not. I don't really have it thought out or anything. But yeah, that's how I see it. Next, I kind of want to talk about the newfound relationship between Nami and Zeus. Um, I mean, ain't really much to talk about, but I find it a little interesting because you know Zeus offering to be Nami's servant. I would honestly think that Nami would jump on that. Like she would say, "Yeah, of course you would be. That's the only way I would accept you as my servant." But she was like, "No, like ew. Why don't we be sidekicks?" So now she's kind of making it look like they're more on equal terms than her just being the master over Zeus, which to me kind of is a weird play on her character, because she likes power. She likes money, of course, but Nami also always had like a power complex. How she talks to Luffy, who's the captain. She almost talks to Luffy like she's his boss. So yeah, but I just found it kind of weird that she would be like, "Hey, you could be my sidekick." That's like saying you're my partner. You're damn near my equal, and it's just weird coming from her. And then I want to move into a very short section of the chapter that I think gave us a lot of information, right? And that was the whole CP0, like the CP0 scene, right? at the end of the scene, first they was talking about like, okay, there would, the alliance now has 9,000. Like the pirate mink samurai ninja alliance has 9,000 now, and I want to say the Kaido's Kaido and Big Mom, they have 16,000. Okay, yeah, I had to look it up. So it's 9,000 to the pirate mink samurai ninja alliance, to the Yonko alliance is 16,000, right? And then the CP0 agents start talking about like, you know, it doesn't matter who wins to us. Like we don't care. We don't care what happens to either side. Which is actually shocking to me because I thought they would actually use this war as an advantage to attack the whoever comes out the victor on of this battle. But and I brought it up before, but I think it's confirmed. I think CP0 won't act on they won't act as far as they won't act as far as what I'm trying to say, something threw me off. They won't act as far as attacking, like Luffy or attacking Kaido after the battle's finished. But there is one person that they are targeting, and they don't say his name specifically, but based off of kind of the context of how it happened, they said right now he's fighting Jimbei, and then the next scene you see who's who fighting who else? Jimbei. Who's who fighting who else? I don't know who. No, I'm playing. But yeah. So I'm curious to know the intel that who's who escaped with. And was this before Shanks took the gum fruit, or was the gum fruit the intel? Like it is. Are they penning? Like? What's this classified intelligence? Like, what do you guys think? What is this classified intelligence that who's who ran off with? Because I'm thinking it could just be not really intelligence. It could be the gum fruit, and they're pinning it on who's who, even though Shanks was the one who took it. But even then, it's like he didn't get away with it. Who's who was eventually locked up, and he escaped. So was it some intelligence that he took after he escaped whatever prison he was locked up in, and they was torturing him? Like I'm just curious. Like I assume whatever this intelligence that who's who took, it was something that he took after he escaped whatever prison he was in, because he was obviously caught. After the whole Shanks thing, he was whatever happened, he was obviously caught and arrested, put in prison. So, and then he escaped. So I'm assuming whatever intelligence he took was after he escaped. But you guys let me know. What do you think this intelligence is? And do you think that it was what got him arrested? Or do you think it was something he took after he got arrested? I'm going with the latter. There's something he took after he was arrested. But yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And so okay. Who's who mentions his grudge with Shanks, and I'm I want to know more about this grudge he had with Shanks. And did they fight and Shanks beat him? Is that why he has the grudge? Is it the fact that he failed a mission and he got arrested and tortured and everything that he has this grudge? I'm assuming it's the whole situation, but Elid said, it seems even the CP0 doesn't know why they have to kill him. It seems to be his knowledge of the sun god Nika. That's what you think? I'm gonna get to the sun god Nika in a bit. So I'm not going walk. I don't want to go too much into that. So let's put a pin to that idea, because that's going to be one of the subjects that I'm gonna talk to about Nika. But yeah, because I think that's pretty interesting. Or you know what? Let's dive into it. Let's dive into it. At least as far as the current subject, as far as them, maybe it's his knowledge of Nika, the sun god, as to why they may have to kill him. Now you got me thinking. It's hard to. I'm trying to figure out what to say next, because like my mind is just racing. Let me. Matter of fact, you tell me more of your theory. Let me know more of your theory. I'm gonna let you expand upon with that theory about it being possibly his knowledge of the sun god Nika. But I'm gonna move on. But you let me know, because I'm curious. I'm curious to what your thought is about it, because that's interesting. Now my mind's like coming up with, it's just racing. It's racing right now. So we got the grudge with Shanks. I want to see more of that. I want to know more about why Shanks wanted to take the gum fruit. Why do you guys think Shanks wanted the gum fruit and went attack a world government ship, or a government ship? Because I feel as though that might be kind of out of his character. I mean, he still is a pirate, so I guess it does make sense. But Shanks don't seem like someone who just goes attacking and raiding ships and things like that. But I guess marine ships, I guess he would. I got you next Sunday. Oh, yeah. Oh, you got me next Sunday for the... All right, cool. We'll talk some more about it. Because I kind of want... I want this to be like a collaboration. If you want to stream on your channel, you can do that. Or I can stream on my channel. I can give you a recording if you want to chop things up. But yeah, I want to collaborate with you and talk about some topics. Some topics. Come up with some good topics for next Sunday. So y'all got it. You guys got that. We will be doing a stream this coming Sunday. Y'all make sure y'all check that. Or next Sunday, next week. But yeah, so I want to know more about Shanks and who's who, like that whole situation. Why Shanks had the wanted the gum fruit, or maybe the gum fruit wasn't Shanks' target. Maybe he was trying to find something else, and he took the gum fruit. As like pirates, they raid ships, so it's like, hey, here's a devil fruit which is valuable, so let's take it. But maybe Shanks was there for a different reason. I'm curious to know more about that. Maybe we'll get that this upcoming chapter. I don't know. Next, I want to talk Okay, what he said. I actually been saying Luffy is connected to the sun. It's video documented, and I do actually remember you saying it. I do remember you talking about like I do remember you saying something about the sun. I don't know if uh, hey, let's, bro. We gonna have to talk more about that because I want on that thing. I want you to expand more on the whole sun. You know, like Luffy being the Luffy being connected to the sun and everything. That's a good point. But next I want to talk about it was a part in the battle of Jimbei and Who's Who where Who's Who sent a pistol fang and it actually bit through Jimbei's armament hockey. And Who's Who made it a point to point it out. You know. And my thing is Kurokushiki, right? Kurokushiki be the counter to hockey. Rokushiki being the martial arts of, the CP9 and CP0 agents and some of the higher ranking Marine officers. It's like you get the finger pistol. It's what we seen like Lucci and the CP9 doing during in this lobby where you got the moonwalk and then you got shave, kind of where you can move. You can move fast, and then you got. I'm trying to think of the one where you kind of your body's kind of like paper or something, and it makes it easy to dodge. But you got all these different, I guess, abilities within Rokushiki, and also to point out when Luffy fought Lucci and he was using Rokushiki, it had the ability to surpass or like bypass. It had the ability to bypass Luffy's devil fruit, right? His gum devil fruit, which usually makes him impervious to blunt attacks. But the things that do actually hurt Luffy are sharp objects like swords, knives, things like that. Armament hockey, which bypasses devil fruit abilities, and we seen Lucci bypass Luffy's abilities with Rokushiki techniques. So, and to, at least it hasn't been confirmed that Lucci was using any type of hockey. A lot of people say Rokushiki. I mean, some people, I think I've heard people say that Rokushiki is hockey or part of hockey, but I don't know. I think Elids would probably have a much more thought out theory. I know he has theories talking about hockey. If you go to his channel, there, which I'm glad he came to the chat today because, me wanting to talk about Rokushiki and how it could be a counter to hockey. I think Elids would definitely be somebody who could have a better explanation for that. But like maybe in one of his videos, you know what I'm saying? Like you might have an explanation of that in one of the videos he's already done. That could justify why who's Rokushiki his fang his fang pistol was able to penetrate and bypass Jimbei's hockey. That's what I'm kind of thinking. I'm kind of thinking Rokushiki could be something like it. It could possibly be like a almost a way to imitate hockey. You know, you know. But maybe we'll get more of an explanation of Rokushiki. I got Eliz said I got a video showing all the evidence that Rokushiki is a form of hockey. There we go. Check out his channel. Check out his video. Do you think? Would you say that it's a more refined hockey? Maybe like a more refined form of hockey, or maybe a unrefined form of hockey. You know, like maybe hockey is an advanced form of Rokushiki, or I don't know. I'm curious to know what you would think. But yeah, so the final thing I want to talk about, which Eliz brought up, is the sun god Nika. And I feel as though that, because it was kind of the way that Oda brought in, like he kind of made a point to reveal this sun god Nika. Like I feel as though it was unnecessary for who's who to bring up the sun god Nika unless this sun god had a relevance to the story. Excuse me. Like the sun god Nika had to have some type of relevance to this major story, and I'm thinking, could he have been a warrior back in the Void Century? Is there some relation with Joy Boy and the sun god Nika? Okay, Eliz said, I believe it's a hockey that focuses on the physical aspects of hockey. Okay, like so like armament more so. Cause now that I think about it, right? Now that I think about it, Rio is similar to the attack. I want to look it up real quick. It's similar to the attack that Lucci was using when he had Luffy wrapped up with his tail. Like he had Luffy's neck wrapped with his tail, and then he put his two hands together. Like he put his two hands together, and then it was kind of like a blast. Almost like a shock that went through Luffy. And I feel as though that could be similar to Rio. It kind of seemed like a ability that's similar to Rio. So I can honestly, I do feel as though there is some, the Rokugan. There's some, I think there's some validity into Rokushiki being heavily connected with hockey. But let me ask you something. Do you think that you can learn what's it called? Rokushiki, do you think you can learn it if you don't know hockey? Like, is hockey like, the basics, armament, observation, king's hockey, are they necessary in order to learn Rokushiki? Because like Rokushiki's not necessary to learn hockey, right? Because there's so many characters who they don't know how to do a moonwalk or the iron body or any of that. but eventually they gain armament hockey, observation hockey, all these things. So do you think hockey is essential to know in order to learn rokushiki and all the techniques within it? You know, I'm curious to see what you think of that. Cause like cause just thinking like we this whole time Rob Lucci has been using hockey. You know, was he from like could he do like make his arms black? Even though disregard that, because my theory on like the whole blackening of the arm is just more of Oda wanting us to see armament hockey. Wanting us to know that a character is using armament hockey. You know, because before then, when we see Garp punching Luffy, he was using hockey, but his arm never went black. You know, or any other times that you could say we possibly seen hockey. We didn't see no arms going black or anything. But yeah. Let me know. But going back to the sun god Nika, right? Hold on. You can know one form of hockey, but not of others. In Skypiea, they use observation, but haven't shown knowledge of the other forms. That is true. That's true. But my thing is, I'm trying. That's yeah. Like I get that. You're right. But why do like the Navy? You know, they never connect. Like the Navy is usually, because Rokushiki is taught in the Navy, in the world government. But seeing how we got so many officers who use Rokushiki and they use hockey, they never put it. They never connect it. Like we never see them connect those two. They say, oh yeah, this is, Rokushiki, the form of armament hockey, or so. Like you never see him connect those two things. I don't know, man. Maybe it's something we got to really, dig deeper in. Like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You know, that's some. Hockey is. Maybe hockey is just super, super complex. Like I mean, seeing how you explain a lot of your videos. Like those are some very. Like you got some very complex. Uh, like a lot of science. There's like I don't want to say science, but there's like a lot of history and science behind and spirituality behind a lot of the theories that I've seen in your videos. So man, hockey, I hope we get that connection. I hope we get that connection of Rokushiki and hockey being, you know, connected. But yeah. Anyway, moving back into the sun god Nika, the relevance of the sun god Nika in the story. My thing is, can the sun god Nika be Joy Boy, or maybe a associate of Joy Boy, a relative of Joy Boy, you can know one form of hockey. Oh, he says my details all or my video details all of it, addressing many of those questions. All right, man. But what if you could link if you can link a one whatever video you have, like link it in the comments, because I would like to go back. I would definitely like to go back and look at it. I'm pretty sure I might have watched it, but watching it again, maybe it would definitely put you know maybe I could go in with with these ideas that I'm having and get better understanding. So definitely link that into the comments or to the chat. But yeah, so with the god with the sun god Nika, is that like what's Nika's connection with Joy Boy, if there is a connection, because Nika could have been before Joy Boy's time, or maybe they was at the same time, maybe they was the same person, like Elid said in the comments that he had a video where he talked about Luffy being connected with the sun. So if Luffy is potentially the sun god Nika, some people think Joy Boy is or Luffy is Joy Boy. I've seen I've seen a theory, which I kind of actually agree with. Not a major theory, but this is like an idea that Joy Boy isn't a person. Joy Boy is a code name. Like Joy Boy is a code name almost. Like every so often, every so many years, a new Joy Boy comes around. And if that's the case, then maybe the sun god Nika could have been like the first Joy Boy or the last Joy Boy. Like maybe the sun god Nika was one of the Joy Boys. So I hope we get more of the sun god Nika, get more information on him. Maybe get the connection between Nika and Joy Boy, if there is that connection. Maybe Jimbei may know something about the sun god Nika. Let me know what you guys think. You gotta think about it. Jimbei was also part of the Sun Pirates. He was part of the Sun Pirates. The Sun Pirates were like a group of fishermen who, some of them were slaves, some of them weren't, but some of them were slaves. That's why they had the tattoo that they branded over their slave markings, and it was the sun tattoo. So maybe I'm thinking Fisher Tiger, right? Fisher Tiger was aware of the sun god Nika. Maybe the sun god Nika was who. Maybe the sun god Nika was who Fisher Tiger kind of inspired. Gain that motivation to free the slaves. He was around. And then he was like, you know what? Let's be the Sun Pirates. You know what I'm saying? Let's be the Sun Pirates off of the sun god Nika. He was inspired by him. Or maybe the sun god Nika is Fisher Tiger. You know, because you think about it, like the sun god Nika is a legendary warrior who freed slaves, who slaves prayed to because he freed slaves. Fisher Tiger did that. And he started the Sun Pirates. So maybe the fact that he started the Sun Pirates and he freed slaves, people called him the Sun God, and they just named him Nika, Sun God Nika. You know, maybe they didn't know his name, and they was like, let's give him a name. You know, we know he was the captain of the Sun Pirates, but you know, like that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm more so thinking that the Sun God Nika was way before Fisher Tiger's time. So, I'm thinking more of the I kind of like the idea that maybe Fisher Tiger was inspired by this sun god Nika, and maybe Nika's code name was Joy Boy, you know, you know. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Like kind of refreshing everything. What do you think of Otama's potential? As far as maybe villain, like future, like other villains seeing the potential in her. Maybe CP0, since they're at Wano, they see her potential. Maybe the world government might want her. Maybe they might report like, hey, this little girl could control beasts, and devil fruit or smile fruit users. Because maybe they could refine her Kibi Dengos to work on zone users. And that'd be scary right there. That'd be scary if those things work on all zone devil fruit users. Like that's the only thing that's really stopping Otama from being like crazy OP is being able to use her devil fruit on zone ability users. But yeah, so and this what's up with this newfound relationship with Zeus, with Nami and Zeus? Like, do y'all think Nami just manipulating Zeus, or do you think she's really kind of appreciative to having Zeus as a partner? And then CP0's target. I think it's pretty obvious who's who. I don't think we really gotta. Elid said, "And." I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean, Elids. But yeah. So CP0's target with who's who. Like, why do you think CP0 is targeting who's who? What's this classified into? Tama needs to awaken her Kibi Dingles, and then she can have a pet Kaido. Bro, just imagine her riding Kaido he's her, just riding him in dragon form. Bro, that would be scary. That would be scary. Just think of all the devil fruit users. Like she could probably, would she be able to control somebody like Sangeko? Cause he's a zone fruit user, but he's not a beast though. He's not like an animal. So I don't know how that worked with zone users that aren't, animal like. Kind of like Chopper. Chopper got a human fruit. But he is a beast, though. How would that work on Chopper? Because he's still a beast, even though he has a human devil fruit. But, yeah, man, that'd be dangerous. That'd be dangerous. But yeah, and what y'all think about who's grudge with Shanks? Like why y'all think Shanks went and started with the world government? With who ship? Do y'all think that Shanks was going after that ship for something different, and then kind of ran across the Gum Gum no Me, or was the Gum Gum no Me Shanks's target? You know, and we talked a little bit about Roku Shiki. My question was, um, can Roku Shiki counter hockey? You know, like can it counter armament hockey? Because we see who's who using his fang gun to hurt to basically penetrate Jimbei's armament hockey. You know, or maybe it's just because who's who is just a strong Rokushiki user, and his Rokushiki is strong enough to penetrate or bypass armament hockey, like even a strong level of armament hockey. But what do you guys think? You said if who's who hates Shanks that much, he should join Kid. But would he want to join Kid? Because I feel as though he might like working for Kaido. You know. And I got a question for you, Elids. Who's who back when he said there was a man he wanted to kill, right? You know, I think my first thought was Queen or King. He wanted to kill one of the commanders so he could become a commander. And then I kind of thought that it was Hawkins. Then it kind of, what happened with Hawkins, the whole situation they set up, I was like, oh, it was Hawkins who he wanted to kill. You know, now I'm starting to think maybe that man could have been, Luffy or Shanks. Do you think that's who he was talking about? The man he wanted to kill? Or do you think it was Hawkins? My initial thought was Queen, and then that whole situation happened. Now, like, okay, Hawkins is that person. But now I'm thinking maybe it could have been Shanks or Luffy. You know, what do you think? But yeah, so okay, so Rokushiki being a counter to hockey. You guys think Rokushiki is a counter to hockey? Because my thought on that, after discussing with Eliz a little bit, is my thought is, since Rokushiki, like it, Elijah Eliz said, he said that Rokushiki is a form of armament. So my thought is maybe it being a form of armament. If that's what like CP9 and CP0 agents focus on, maybe since they focus on it so much that they could train it to overcome armament hockey or maybe even observation hockey. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe that's possible. Since that's like the form that they dedicate to learning. But you said, Elid said, with all we know now, it seems to be Shanks that he is after. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm thinking that could be the case. Which I guess with the narrative, it was the context of him saying it. He said, "Oh, there's only one person I want to kill," and it was like, I guess people would believe that that person he was talking about had to be in the area at that time. You know, like that's what I'm kind of thinking. He was somebody who was in the area at that moment. That's what I was thinking. But now I'm kind of thinking, okay, Shanks, yeah, that definitely makes sense. That definitely makes sense for him to be talking about Shanks. You know, maybe it's just that's all he thinks about is Shanks. He goes to sleep, thinks about Shanks. Like, damn you, Shanks. But yeah, so and then what do you guys think is the relevance of the sun god Nika? Like, what's the relevance of it? Do you think it's going like? Do you think Nika is going to be somebody who's going to have like a bigger part in the story as far as the history of One Piece? Kind of like where Joy Boy is. We always talk about Joy Boy, and do you guys think Nika is going to play a major uh role as far as the story? Do you guys think Nika is related to Joy Boy? Is connected? Maybe Nika is Joy Boy. You know, maybe Joy Boy is a code name, and Nika was one of the Joy Boys. Maybe the first Joy Boy or the last Joy Boy. You know, you guys let me know what y'all think. You know, I'm about to we about to end it here. You know, I want to give Elids or and the chat anytime to say anything. So while I give the chat time to say you know say anything, Elids specifically since you're in the chat. um, let me I'm gonna wrap this up. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for being a part of the discussion today. Thank you, Eliz, for coming through and chatting with me. Appreciate it. Your contributions to the discussion is appreciated. It's very appreciated. What he said. So it seems. I thought commented. But yeah, what was I saying? We will be back since we have a break next Sunday. We will be discussing. We will have another discussion. We have I call them in between discussions where they're in between chapters. We have discussions that are in between the chapters. We talk about what we got so far, and what's next. What's going to be next for this? What we talk about. What we talked about during this. The last few chapters and what may be coming the next couple chapters. But appreciate y'all for being a part of the stream. Make sure you like the stream, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so when we do go live, we do these One Piece streams. I'm trying to do them every Sunday that I can. Follow me on Instagram at BlumpGod. Follow me at on Twitter at BlumpGod. Link should be in the description if you can't spell. I know it's a weird name to have to spell, but you can look at the my name, my channel name. Join my One Piece Discord. The link will be in the description for that. Trying to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. My gaming channel on Facebook. Link will be in the description for that. Come holler at your boy. If you ain't doing nothing, I stream Thursdays and Saturdays at 7 p.m. Central Time. If you ain't doing nothing, come slide through. Holler at your boy. We could talk One Piece. We could talk music. If you like music, if you like hip hop, I do beats on Fridays. Y'all join those streams if you're interested. But yeah, I think we're pretty much done. Haven't gotten any more out of the chat. Trying to, I don't want to end the stream and y'all still wanting to discuss, But yeah, I'm getting out of here. We'll be back next Sunday for some more One Piece content. I will be collaborating with Elids. He been chatting in the stream. Make sure y'all go give him a holler on his channel. He got a bunch of good videos, all types of real in-depth theories about things like devil fruits, things like hockey, the kind of the science behind it, like the science and the spiritual history behind it, and the real world history behind these things. It's very interesting to see. It's very interesting to hear his his theories on these concepts. So y'all go hit his y'all go check out his. He said great discussion. Yeah, bro, I appreciate it. Y'all make sure y'all go check out his YouTube channel. If he wants to put a link in the chat, then of his YouTube, that would definitely be appreciated. You should be able to click his avatar and get there, but I'll let him decide if he wants to put it there. I personally don't mind. But yeah, anyway, I'm out of here. We'll be back next Sunday. Peace.